Internal Apple says, do you send money to your girlfriend? I have a long distance girlfriend. We met in person, but I prefer to spend my time in Europe. I don't send her money, but I do send a takeout, about 100 to 200 a month. It's my love language. I suppose he means takeouts as in food delivery. I know many Filipinas would not wait up to 8 or 9 months for being abroad in Europe without finding a partner meanwhile or another foreigner. And I think it's a great way to show my gratitude to her. Am I spending too much? I know if I stop buying her food, of course, she has her own job and money and can eat those, but she really appreciates whatever I buy. I feel 100 to 200 a month is a big expense, almost a full month's rent in the province, yet I do it. My financial situation is also not good as before, but 100 would not change it that much. Here is how men operate. They try to tell themselves any lie, any way of thinking to make themselves feel better. Okay, you do not send money, but you send her takeout food. How is that any different? Let's be real. Many of you would say, I would never send money. But clearly, most people are sending money to these women. That's why they continue to rob foreigners and play them, because they have multiple men sending them. You might send her food, so you've covered her food expenses for the month. Another man might send her, oh, I'm only sending 100 for her room. Another man would say, I'm only paying for her education. While another man says he's only paying for her Grab to get to school and back. Now she has 4 or 5 boyfriends, and you yourself know deep down that she has a local boyfriend also that she shares that meal with and watches Netflix while he plays with her. Keep that in mind. You can do whatever you like, but do not deny reality. The truth is, you are not her boyfriend. You're simply someone who exchanges food for feeling like he has some kind of value 9 months abroad in a different country. Glimblade says, you do you, but you shouldn't assume she doesn't have 3 other foreigners doing the same thing. Samurai says, only simps do that. Why not just take her out on a date and then pay for the dinner, and that's as far as you could go? Well, if you actually read what he wrote, he's in Europe for 8 to 9 months. That's when he is sending money. Another person jokes, it's his love language. Samurai says, I mean, if he can afford to send $200 a month, that's on him. But if something goes wrong in a relationship, then don't you ever call her a scammer, because you're giving out money voluntarily. That is a good point. Men like this get played, and when they find out she has another boyfriend, they call her a scammer. How is she a scammer when he willingly sends money? Internal Apple says, we are together 1 year, so paying for anything with a girlfriend of 1.5 years is a simp? I understand if it's a girl you met, but you must be off by a far margin. I know, I'm just saying you don't have to give her that much. You could probably give a maximum of 1,000 pesos. Dude, don't come on the subreddit for relationship advice, for the love of God. Yes, everyone online seems to be an expert in relationships, yet they're all single. Let me remind you, any relationship that is a good one, any man who is happy in a relationship will not be watching my videos or on a Reddit post talking about relationship advice. And that is a fact. If you are, it's because deep down you have doubts or you are in a bad situation. That's it. No happy couple is online looking for advice or giving advice. That is the reality of the situation. Ego says, what this does is show her and her girlfriends how easy it is to make money. I heard Thai girls perfected this and often have a ton of tourist boyfriends who just visit once a year or so but send money all year. You could make a distinction whether you met her in the province or in a tourist spot or even Angela City. Thais were the first to perfect the craft, but over time, the art spread to various other countries in Southeast Asia. Filipinos are far behind. Round Comfort says 5 boyfriends at $200 is a good living. That's not the first time I read about this I buy her food thing. That about? Does she ask for it? Can she not afford to buy food? Is it not expensive for locals? True don't understand. It's not the woman. The man feels like he's not being scammed because he's not sending money directly, but he is buying food, somehow justifying his actions. Somehow thinks that by sending food only, that she's not cheating still or talking to other men. Engineering Basic says, you don't see each other for 9 months at a time. So you're paying her in hopes she sticks around with you? Really? What's your plan with her? Just pay her until one of you gets bored and finds someone else? If you don't have a long-term plan with this girl, like moving closer to be with each other or marriage, then you need to stop sending money so you both can just move on. Precisely. Long-distance relationships do not work. This is not a real thing. Even though you met her in person doesn't make it okay. Imaginary Radio says anyone that's in a long-distance relationship and tells you they aren't is coping and or lying. As you said, they're not going to wait around 9 months out of the year for you if you're not supporting them in some way. Maybe like 0.001% of relationships can survive that, but most can't. It makes sense from their perspective too. If you truly did love and care about them, why wouldn't you support them in some way? Can you imagine showing up to visit them Monday, treated like a friend instead of like a real relationship? That would be the equivalent. Morse Macaroons says, many sweet innocent girls also do cam shows for foreigners. Many foreigners get infatuated and send them heaps of money. I know of girls who have 3 boyfriends, each sending them about 30,000 pesos a month. Now it's time to address the elephant in the room. The problem is, most of us that read this and think that these men are simps, we ourselves are most likely in a better position than these men. Either we are still single with no kids, in a younger age group, even in the 40s, relatively speaking, or have a higher value of ourselves. However, a lot of men don't feel that way. They are very old, in their 80s or 70s, and they have nothing except for a fat stomach and no prospects at all, ever, in their home country. So deep down, they have no choice but to send money and be with these women. That's it. That's the reality. Even though they know that she's really not their girlfriend, but they can show the photo to their group of friends back home and claim that this is their Filipino partner or something. It's just a coping mechanism because they don't want to be alone or die alone. That's it. They don't want to face the reality that she really is not your girlfriend. The best comment from yesterday is tied between Jin Kazama and Wozy. Jin Kazama says, these people are too heavy on ignorance. Stop trying to pull them up to your level. You will only hurt yourself. Wozy says, yes, I am entitled foreigner. I am not a guest. No one is paying for my trip but me. That makes me a paying customer. I'm entitled to receive the food I ordered and not just accepting whatever mistake you set in front of me. I'm entitled to eat in peace without the noise and smell of beggars interrupting. The Philippines claims they want to encourage tourism, but they have no concept of hospitality business. Nothing says welcome. It says put up with us. Precisely, this is exactly what is the problem of the Philippines with customer service, foreigners, and especially tourism. Thanks for listening. God bless.